The South African Cricketers Association, also known as SACA, hosts the MVP or Most Valuable Player ranking system, which is designed to measure the best cricket players over the course of a season. To get a better understanding of this system, we visited the SACA headquarters in Cape Town.
So it's a ranking system which measures all on-field performances, so batting, bowling, fielding, winning, captaining. Combines all of those disciplines and into one ranking system.
So the idea is to get a ranking that gives equivalent weightings for batting and bowling. So you get points basically for batting, points for bowling, points for fielding. You get additional points for the results of games, and also if you're a captain you get points. So it's basically each player gets a point or number of points for each game that they play in, and then that's added up over the season. And the guy who has the most at the end of the season will be the leader of the MVP rankings. Yeah.
Domestic cricket is the pipeline that feeds our national team with top-class quality players. Yet, as fans, it is not always easy to follow each player individually and keep up with the emerging talent. This is also where SACA's ranking system comes into play.
Not everyone can follow domestic cricket. There's a lot of it. A lot of it is not televised. A lot of it is not publicised as prominently as international cricket. But this is a way of actually following what's going on in domestic cricket, who's performing day in and day out and what they're doing.
Cricket is so much more than how many runs are scored or how many wickets are taken, which is generally what traditional stats display. The MVP ranking goes much further than this, giving players far more credit for performances that don't always get their due.
The MVP from a player's perspective is about really assessing the true value that players add to their teams. It doesn't rely heavily on the average, which is an enormous tool. A lot of people, coaches, administrators, rely on averages to judge the value that a player adds. I think the MVP goes a bit deeper than that. It kind of tries to say something about where those runs game-changing contribution and where those runs under significant amount of pressure. So we're trying to really say, are you scoring your runs against the opening bowlers, or are you taking your wickets against the tail? Or so it really tries to get the finesse of what the player is doing.
It's quite accurate, it measures your contributions on the field obviously, but also during crunch times I think bowlers get a couple more points if they get top order batters out, and it goes on a percentage runs you score of your innings as well, you get a certain allocation of points. And my experience with it so far is that it's actually quite accurate. I found that the guys that have been near the top generally have really had very, very good seasons.
I think SACA has gone a long way trying to make sure that that calculation is balanced and it's fair. So I think from a player's perspective, it's a very healthy kind of system that keeps us very competitive.
The ranking system does seem to play an essential role in the detailed measure of players' careers. But how does it work?
There's points, as I said, for batting, points for bowling. Points for batting is obviously not just the runs you score. So one of the factors that comes in is you get points for how many runs you score and also points for what percentage you make of the team's total. Then there's bonus points for batting. You get bonus points for scoring 100. You get bonus points depending on your strike rate, which is obviously different depending on what format you're playing. So you get points for scoring at a strike rate of 75 in a first-class game, 100 in a one-day game, and 150 in a T20. Bowling is very similar as well. You get points for how many wickets you take, but then you also get points depending on what batsman you dismiss. So if batsman is number 1 to 4 in the order, you get 5 points for that. Number 5 to 6, you get 4 points, and it goes down as you go down the order. And then there's bonus points for bowlers. If you get 5 wickets in innings, you get bonus points. If you get your economy rates low enough, you get bonus points. You get bonus points for bowling maidens. So those all come into batting and bowling. And then in the fielding, you get points for catches, for stumpings, and also for run-outs. And then there's points if your team wins as well. So basically, those are all added up over each game for each player, and that's how you work it out.
The ranking system is open to the public for viewing and is hosted on the SACA website on www.saca.org.za. Ompile encourages fans to keep updated with the players' ranks.
I think fans should engage with it more to allow them to see which players are adding value to their team. It allows the fans to also start understanding that there's more to cricket than just the good old-fashioned average.
So they can check what the players are doing and who's up and who's down. who's doing well in each of the different competitions as well. So the rankings are for each competition separately, but also the overall ranking.
You can also follow us, that's SACA Players on Twitter. We generally tweet after every round of a competition, and there's a direct link then to the website so that you can follow the full results.
Those who rise up to the top of the ranks gain incentives and bonuses awarded by SACA. In addition, there is a strong correlation between the players at the top of the MVP ranking and those that get a call up by the Proteas selectors.
Yeah, quite a lot. Like I said, it just shows you and it reflects a good, consistent season. It's taken across all formats, all disciplines. Yeah, and it was a nice feather in that cap to have won it once. It's not the easiest thing to win because there's generally quite a number of guys that has a good season, and to be top of the best guys of the season it was nice.
There's quite a close correlation we found between the performers under the MVP and then players who break through to make their Protea debut or perform on the Proteas.
If you look recently, you've got Dwayne Pretorius, who was at the top of the charts. You've got Dane Patterson, who was at the top of the charts very recently. You've got Hannah Kuhn, who's probably also knocking on the door. So I think all those people that have made significant contributions to their teams and have had outstanding seasons, they get recognized. And I think one way or another, the recognitions comes through the national call-up.